Hello. Welcome to Healthy by Choice, the podcast that's here to ignite your belief in what's truly possible for your health and well-being. Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry, and what lights me up is empowering others. My mission has always been to inspire you to take your health seriously and give you the tools to understand your body on a deeper, more meaningful level. In each episode, we'll explore the healing power of nature, the role of real food as medicine, and how intentional movement can restore balance to your body and mind. So whether you're on a journey of prevention, recovery, or simply seeking more vitality, this podcast is your reminder. You hold the power to heal. Thanks so much for joining me. Hi friends, welcome back. I'm so grateful that you are here, and I really do truly appreciate you spending time with me. So this episode is about supplements, and this is the impetus for this podcast. Because in my lifetime, it has long been a charged topic in my personal experiences, as well as that of my patients. There's information out there, whether it's positive or negative. You'll hear it on the TV news shows, you'll hear it on the radio, the morning radio announcers talking about it, and everyone seems to have a positive or a negative bend, whether or not supplements are necessary, whether or not supplements help, and all that. So I want to give you my view on the topic. So we'll go back historically. So all indigenous groups of people had a way of treating, whether it was plants, herbs, animal extracts, concoctions. It was used as medicine. Nature was used as medicine to fulfill a nutritional or a healing gap, actually. Not called supplement again, but called, helping, healthy, whatever, prevention, all that stuff. And so if we think back to what we know about the cause of scurvy, rickets, right? I'm talking about like in the 1800s, sailors knew that they carried citrus foods with them in order to prevent scurvy and rickets, which then was discovered it's a vitamin C deficiency. And the early 1900s, similarly, cod liver oil and brewer's yeast became popular as supplemental remedies. This is like until the vitamins were isolated. And once that happened, then we had multivitamins and fortified foods. And this was absolutely how we supported military and soldiers, particularly World War II era, along with like the salt tablets. They did this during the food rations and the availability. There was, shortage of food and then getting it to them, right? So we had to get the high density nutrients to prevent death and severe malnutrition, which of course led the government to research this stuff and determined, this is vital for people with nutrient gaps. And I just want to point out, I'm talking about the U.S. history at this point because I'm from the U.S. and this is the tracing that I'm doing. So in the 1930s and in the 1940s, what we say post-war, the wellness movement, it was like a boom in production with some of these vitamins that had become aware. Again, vitamin C for preventing scurvy was well known. And then herbalism and the natural health movement kind of came along simultaneously. I was born in 1969, so I was raised along with this development for the U.S. And like I said, I'm not able to speak for other countries because I lived here, but this was exactly what I recognized in my childhood. I personally don't remember a time when people, for example, the doctor's office intake form would say, what vitamins or supplements do you take? Or people would ask one another in a friendly setting. And of course, the fitness industry, which I'm a huge fan of, took that general health and deficiency prevention into the next level, optimal strength, energy, and endurance. So again, those advancements in nutritional science became common, and performance enhancement for athletes, particularly athletes at high level, that really was increasing in popularity, but also in effectiveness right around the time I was, high school age. So it was really common for me. And it only makes sense that then the weekend warriors and a lot of the general population wanted in on the increase in wellness and the perceived health, or that healthier look, right? Because it seemed convenient and especially easy. If they didn't see the hours that the athletes and the hard work in the gym, it seemed like, oh, they're taking supplements. So, the popularity really grew. And then in the, gym. So personally, I've always had some awareness of that, at least in my peripheral. And then in the 1990s, I was in my 20s, and I started working at the front desk for my chiropractor. And I would see regularly patients purchasing their multivitamins like every month, $32. And I thought, geez, $32, that seems like a lot. Like, is it worth it? And I kind of did my own research, and I just asked them, like, do you notice a difference? Or I would say, what do you notice? Why do you take these? Basically, why are you committed to taking these? And my chiropractor offered me a discount. So I decided I wanted to try for myself and see if I could tell any difference. And I will tell you for certain, I never got sick for 7 years, not once, when I started taking multis. So needless to say, I always take a multivitamin, and I'm committed to that. That's my bare minimum. It's kind of also what I recommend as the starting point. So my take is it's a nutritional health insurance, right? Obviously, I prefer to eat the rainbow every day, and I know that I need fresh fruit and vegetables every day. And however, in real life, I may miss a purple today, or an orange, or a green, or a red, and I know that I'm covered by my multivitamin, and I'm happy, the argument being you have expensive pee, the argument being you don't need all that. Like, I am happy to have my nutritional needs met, and know that if it goes over, it goes over. And I do believe, many people, particularly my patients, will tell me there's a variety of other must-haves. I've heard so many times, I've never gotten sick once I started taking vitamin D, or I know that, this and this is all because of this or that vitamin. I hear it again and again and again. But for me personally, my multivitamin is the primary to any other choices that I make. But it is really important, super important. The quality matters. And I mean, the quality of the supplement matters the most. Like, above all, what they're made from. And then finding out, of course, how do you know? We clearly want to avoid synthetic fillers. And for so long, I would have said those trusted companies that, it used to be that you could only get certain supplements or vitamins at doctor's offices or a high-end health food store. And that was the only way you could get them. But unfortunately, even some of those brands have been sold. They've been corrupted. Many of the companies we once trusted have been purchased by a bigger corporation like Procter & Gamble or Nestle. And it's just what we thought of as good quality it's just been reformulated or downgraded. There's no question. So it's really therefore more important that you do your due diligence and research. And by research, I mean just pop it into ChatGPT. I just ask ChatGPT, who owns, this company, or what are the ingredients of, and then I put in the name and the kind of vitamin. So just to be clear, I want to clarify what I am not saying is take a supplement or take a multivitamin if that means you're going to walk into a grocery store or into one of these mega stores and walk out with a bottle that is the least expensive bottle you can find, even if it says this is good for you and here's all the reasons why on the bottle. Please do not do that. And even worse, please, pretty please, with sugar on top, please do not order your supplements from Amazon. I know what I just said. I know everyone does it. You have to, what you have to recognize is 3D printing is a thing, and people can make a false product that looks identical to the product that you think you're getting. And if you've ordered it and it looks exactly the same, obviously you're going to then assume that you have a high quality nutritional supplement made from food or healthy animals that is going to enhance your health. And what I'm telling you is it's possible to very inexpensively mimic the exact product, and unfortunately it could be just full of metals or fillers or worse, and there's no recourse because there are no high quality products on Amazon sold legitimately. And what I mean by legitimately is I have personally signed a contract with every company that I represent that says very clearly I will not sell them on Amazon or anything like Amazon. So, in other words, sure, it's possible that there are people selling legitimate products. They're not supposed to be, but let's just say I bought too much of one kind or I closed my shop and I had these extra. Yes, I could go on Amazon and sell them, and yes, it would be a legitimate product and you took a chance, but that's most often not what's happening. People are actually making some sort of a fake product. They make it look identical. I know what I'm saying is radical, and I promise you, you're not getting the best quality products when you're ordering them on Amazon. And besides, remember, you know me, so I offer a discount on all supplements if you order through me, and I'm really happy to add you to my patient list, so please reach out. My email's in the bio of the show notes, and I am so happy to support you in getting the best high-quality nutritional supplements. And I promise you that's not just a sales pitch. I do want you to get the best quality, and I do want you to get the real deal. And so that's the question, right? So how do you know what you need, and how do you know what constitutes a high-quality supplement? So I'm glad you asked. The best thing I can recommend, which I believe is the most thorough, is to take a questionnaire that your healthcare professional will provide. I definitely have these. That assessment will break down the areas that you are most concerned with. So basically you might be surprised, you might not be surprised how symptoms are related to systems in the body, and all of those areas work together. So getting the nutritional support could tie together some things and improve multiple areas of concern, and you may have thought they were unrelated. And again, you know me, and I want to help you, so just reach out if you would like to take that step. We'll set it up. I'll send you a questionnaire, have you answer those questions. And then which vitamins to take. As long as they're a whole food-based product that you purchase directly from the manufacturer or from a practitioner, the best thing I can say is try. Try it for 30 days or 60 days and try it with earnest, right? Like, ask your body how she feels. Make sure that you take the vitamins according to your directions and give it a try. You will know whether or not you sleep better or think better or eliminate better or not. And what I do personally is I change it up. I take good high quality vitamins, but I take a different brand for 6 to 8 to 9 months, and then I'll try another one sometimes. One of the things to say is just because if you have had a company or a source that you've trusted please regularly check in ChatGPT or wherever who owns the company and what the ingredients are. I'll give you an example. One of my patients brought in, this might have been 2 years ago now, a list of all of these vitamin brands that used to be only purchased through health practitioners. And as a matter of fact, at the time, I was still telling people, yeah, that's a good brand. That's a great choice. And then we found out they were purchased by Nestle or Procter & Gamble or, whatever. And so many, most of the most popular ones were, because unfortunately the industry is not regulated well and there's a lot of money. So of course, bigger corporations can afford to purchase, and then they change the formula because they want to expand the shelf life or they want to make more product. I mean, that's just how the money works, sadly. And, I don't do it every day. I don't do it every time I order, but I do it regularly now, at least once a year. I personally do it more often because I'm ordering product for my patients. But, I'll give you an example. The popular ones like Centrum Silver as an example. It says right on there, this is modified cornstarch. Then there are these binders, there are these fillers, there are these colorants, and, the list of colorants is long. And, it says right here, always check the ingredient list on a product packaging, as formulations can vary by region and by specific product. Well, that's really interesting that it says that on, I'm looking at ChatGPT right now for the Centrum Silver. I happen to pick that one because it's popular, but those whole one-a-days and Centrum Silver and all of them, it's really not, you're not getting quality, and you're spending a lot of money. So I would much prefer you get something that we know was made from plants. I like to go to the standard process because I feel like it's the gold standard. As an example, one of the longest, if not the first ever vitamins or supplement companies. I promise you it's not just because they're from Wisconsin and I'm from Wisconsin. Honestly, they have organic farms and they put organic vegetables and fruits and herbs and then also animal products into their supplements, and they are very, very high standard. They are not the only company. It just happens to be, since 1929, and they have always been family owned. There's, things like that are really important. And also, that doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of good companies, and I do recognize that there are different price points of many of those companies, and I keep different price points in my office for my patients, and some of that is specifically because I know people will buy according to cost. And, I would love to have this conversation at any time. I'm always willing and open to talk about it. It's one of my most favorite topics. So if ever you want to reach out, please do. And I just want you to know that I love you. I'm sending my very best. And I can't say enough how I love spending this time with you.